In our previous episodes, we looked at the constrained environment that everyone lives in, the scarcity that we are confronted with, the constraints of life, limited time, limited money, limited people, limited attention, what have you, even limited intelligence, perhaps. And so leadership in that environment is a question of how do we maximize return or outcome against the resources that we have. So we're minimizing cost if we are maximizing profit. If we are maximizing impact, we are minimizing cost. That's exactly what we are hoping to achieve. So today I want to put a name to that thing that actually helps us to get this done, because it's the hardest thing anyone can do. How do I get the maximum benefit or outcome against limited resources or against minimizing the cost? That is wisdom. Wisdom allows us to be able to do that. And many of us think of wisdom as, let's say, a proverb or, a gray-haired elder or something like that. But wisdom is far more practical and far more measurable than that. Wisdom is the best possible use of anything of value. Anything, regardless of what it is. Wisdom is how we get the maximum return or outcome out of anything or out of any input, regardless of how little or how much. Okay, and if I have, let's say, 1,000 cities, what will be the best possible use of 1,000 cities in order that I will have the maximum outcome? That is wisdom. So picture two people, okay, who have been given this 1,000 cities and told to feed, let's say, their family for a month. So one of them walks to the market, he buys whatever catches the eye, and then takes it home. Everything is gone. By the second week, I guess the money is finished and the food is almost down, and they're looking for how they can actually feed. The other one sits down with a paper. He lists all the things that a family eat. He calculates what 1,000 can stretch to. He looks at what will be the alternatives, and then he makes prudent choices. So the same input, but different outcome. He's able to feed his family for 1 month. The difference is not magic. The difference is wisdom. And if it is a little space, this person is asking what will be the best possible use of this little space in order to get the best outcome. It is 1,000. What will be the best possible use of it in order to get the best possible outcome? I remember when I sat in economic class and learned about demand and supply. I'm thinking, what will be the best possible use of this knowledge in my real life? That to me is wisdom. The same thing applies to you. Maybe you sat in the accounting class, you learned about debit and credit. It's not just about a spreadsheet. It's about how can this knowledge help you in real life? The best possible use of that knowledge is wisdom. Now, zoom out a little bit. This is exactly what leadership is about. A leader who has, let's say, one office and 3 staff and a tight budget is not in a different game from the mother in the market. The question is the same. Given what I have, what is the best possible use of it? For a leader, wisdom is not abstract. It is a daily scale of the work. It is what separates a great leader from not so great leader. It is what separates a leader who multiplies what they have from a leader who only consumes it. Because anyone could take money and use it up. But it's only the great leader who will be able to take this money, no matter how little, to be able to get the best possible return out of it. And this is very important. Knowledge is all the information that comes into your head, okay? So you acquire knowledge through what you're reading, what you're hearing, what you're watching, what you're experiencing, and all that. Understanding looks at the catalog with the eye that is able to find value in it. Okay, without understanding, you can have something of value and still miss out on the value in it. Without understanding, you wouldn't know what to do with what you have. Without understanding, you will not be able to use up the resource that you have. I have seen a lot of people say, well, I don't have much. I have seen a lot of people say, well, I need more. Wisdom can do so much with more, but it can also do so much with little. I mean, what can be done may not be to that same level, but wisdom is able to look at a rock and can imagine cathedral out of it, and not just imagine it, but can actually bring out a cathedral out of a pile of rocks. There's so many things that I have seen that leaders struggle with, and I think a lot of people don't understand that leadership is really not just about doing things. Leadership is doing the best possible thing with the least resources. That is what leadership really is about. Leadership is just not about having 2 billion and spending them all on, let's say, a building project. Leadership is, I've got 2 billion, I want a building project that will serve this purpose, and how can I get this outcome without squandering all the 2 billion? So a good leader is the one that can achieve more with little resources and can achieve more with much resources. A bad leader thinks about doing stuff. If you gave them $1 billion right now, they think about what I can do with 1 billion and they go ahead and do it. A good leader does not think about what I just can do with 1 billion. A good leader says, well, how can I achieve what I want to do with this 1 billion in a way that will not cost me 1 billion? I do not know if you understand the difference, but I pray you do get that. So you will see a lot of people who want to just do things, say, I have maybe one room. What can I do with that one room? What is the best possible outcome? That is why I told you the 2 things that we need to walk in wisdom is knowledge and understanding. Knowledge is how we gather all the information and bring them in. Understanding is how we dig out the gold in it. And wisdom is such that if you don't know it, you wouldn't see it. And if you don't know it, you wouldn't value it. But I pray for us leaders, the number one thing that we prioritize is wisdom, because of the constraints of life and because of the necessity of prudent choices in the environment that we live in. If we lived in an environment of abundance, then maybe prudent choices may not be worth it. But because of the environment we live in and because of the people that we are sharing these resources with, it becomes necessary that we make prudent choices that minimizes cost, that maximizes output, that minimizes cost, that maximizes impact, that minimizes cost and maximizes return and profit for all the stakeholders that are involved. Well, until next week, catch you another time. Lead yourself and lead others. We are TGLC.